New season, a new day, a new year has dawned. For CST, for FC Cincinnati, as we hit 2026, I am your host, Jeremy Lance. I'll be one of your hosts this season as we change things up a bit, shuffle around the chairs a little bit. I will be one of them. You'll see some other new faces, some familiar faces, hopefully some new blood brought in because we got a bunch of old guys right now right in front of you staring at you, so hopefully we'll freshen things up as the season progresses. But it is the day that the preseason technically begins for FC Cincinnati. Just a few hours ago, that plane landed in Florida with the team ready to embark on not only just the 2026 calendar, but a preseason that feels a bit different than other preseasons have in the past. I am here with you. Let me introduce the rest of our hosts here. We got Jason Ashcraft hanging out with us. Jason, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. I got all my towels secured, so no one can steal my towels. If anyone gets...
I want to see something like that. If you don't know what we're talking about, AFCON, championship match, Morocco, Senegal. The Senegal ball boy had to have a towel because I guess was it raining there? Had a towel to for Mendy, to Edward Mendy, former Chelsea keeper, to clean his hands off, to clean the ball off, to keep things dry, keep his gloves working well. And Morocco's like staff and like substitute players and other people were basically trying to assault this guy to get that towel the whole match, along with some other not so good violence that happened within it. It was a very wild time to have that little AFCON finale happen and just kind of a mess of a match. But ultimately, Senegal wins. So that. So hopefully you keep your towels dry.
Yeah.
Keep them in your possession. Rupesh is also joining us. Rupesh, you are you I see you're in a room with a hockey poster.
I know.
How are we doing?
I'm good. Ready for the season to start. What's it been, like 6 weeks, month, 2 months, whatever it is. I'm ready for this season to kick off. So excited to be here.
Yeah, we're ready to keep it going. I am apparently, as Jeff Tebbets is pointing out, that I'm not. I don't know. A DP contract seems a bit ambitious. Possibly like another DP contract. Maybe it was not money well spent, and maybe we'll get into that a little bit tonight as well. We're going to talk, obviously, all the off-season moves. I know previous shows probably hit on some of the stuff, especially those guys that exited right after the season. We're going to hit all of it. We're going to kind of set the stage, set the primer for the preseason that, again, starts essentially today as the guys touch down in Florida. They'll get going here. We got preseason games starting here just in a few days. And in 2 weeks, we will also have a bit of a party and a hangout and a live show. Rupesh, hit that for us. What is going on in a couple weeks?
So on January 31st, Norden will be having their annual scarf release party up at Grainworks Brewing, which is located in Westchester, right across Cox Road from Voice of America Park. It's a big fundraiser that we do, and most of the proceeds go to the St. Vincent de Paul Pharmacy in the West End. I don't remember how much money we raised last year, but every dollar we raised could be turned into $12 of life-saving medicine for the residents in the West End. And our belief was, we kind of invaded the West End to build the stadium for FC Cincinnati, so we wanted to give back into that community. And so that's how Norden has decided to help out.
It's an awesome time. If you haven't been out to the party, it's kind of the yearly, for me as a supporter, as someone who just loves this time of year, it's really that first in-person kickoff to the new season, the preseason. You get to run into people that you see at the stadium all the time. You get to see people you probably haven't talked to a ton or hung out with a ton here in the frigid cold temps of winter. There will be some dignitaries there. There will be a couple former players will be showing up. Gary the Lion is there normally to assault me in some fashion, sometimes live on the air, sometimes not on the air. What you guess which one's the worst one? It's a fun time. It's great. You bring the kids, bring whoever, bring old people, young people. It's a good time. Grainworks is a great spot, a great space, plenty of room. They got food, they got beer. It's going to be a good time, and it's just kind of that beautiful kickoff to the season.
And what there is a lot of, I forgot to say it, but we have a lot of raffles, or there's a few silent auction items, I believe. And this year the restaurant has changed at Grainworks, so it is now Big Dog Pizza. Is that location, which is excellent.
Big Dog Pizza is a Westchester staple. I grew up.
They closed down their actual standalone store and opened it up inside of Grainworks, and it's some of the best pizza I've had. So
it's great. I grew up eating Big Dog's pizza. That was my favorite thing on a Friday night, was my dad coming home with a Big Dog's pizza. So that's exciting. So that is obviously kind of the big in-person kickoff to the new season, to the preseason. We're going to talk about everything tonight, the comings and goings in the off season. We'll talk about some of the other news, and we'll talk about the fact that the guys are in Florida, ready to go. What does that mean? What are we looking for? Who are we excited about? What questions do we still have? But first, we got to do the thing we always do, guys, and that's our best and worst, I guess, of the week, of the off season. We'll kind of keep that broad, whatever you want to do. If you are listening live and streaming us right now, you can obviously jump in on any of those platforms, and we will try to read those for you. Rupesh, let's start us off. Give us your best and your worst.
So I am the best is I'm a big believer in the Goss theorem, that players that coming to MLS get better in their second season, especially when they're coming from overseas. So I think we're going to get a big season from Kevin Denke. And I also am looking forward to season 2 of Evander and Kevin Denke playing together. Last year was kind of disjointed. I think getting a full off season of them getting practice together and learning how each other works, this could bode to a very good offensive season for FC Cincinnati. For me, the worst, and this is a personal thing, is Dom Kinnear being gone. I just personally like Dom a lot, and he gave back a lot. I know I saw him last year in Los Angeles, and he spent about 10 minutes talking to me and my fiance and my nephew out there at the LA Galaxy game. He was just a great guy, great coach. So I'm sorry to see him no longer be with the organization.
Yeah, a real legend of the league, a legend of American soccer. I mean, one of the craziest benches you had as far as a coaching staff, just the experience that he brought in for a guy like Pat in his first job, to have that guy right in his ear. Obviously it's going to be interesting to see how this coaching staff and Pat move forward without that voice there, without that wisdom, that seasoned experience, a man who has climbed the mountaintop in MLS before. To your other point, I'm excited to see those two guys click, Evander and Denke, but I'm also mainly just excited to have them click because I can't do another season of the discourse in this fan base being, does our attacking mid and our striker like each other? Right. Are they friends? Did they look at each other weird? Did you see that face?
Yeah.
Oh, he just I can't do that again, guys. Like
that's been like a 3 or 4 season like trend.
And
it goes back beyond.
2.5 years. 2.5 years for sure.
It predates Evander and Denke. It's like a FC Cincinnati like religious belief now that we have.
It's immediately. Hey, they're not scoring goals. They must hate each other. Let's look for body language. Let's see how their body language are at each other are. Jason, what do you got for us?
My best, and is not to take too much away from Jeremy's, but I'm just kind of excited that they are in preseason. I was talking to my wife today because I informed her that I did get a half season pack and that I paid for it. And so I was like, hey, by the way, this is how many games we have. And I said, the first game is February 21st. And she just kind of looked at me.
Wait, already? Wait.
Yeah. And that's what she said. Really? Already? Which kind of makes me happy. So I'm just kind of excited that we're now getting back into it. There's actually stuff to talk about. My worst is that the first game is February 21st, and it's going to be probably bad weather or cold. And I am a fan of cool weather. I'd rather have a 60-degree day than a 90-degree day, but
sure.
Winter soccer is going to be something we're going to have to look forward to here in a couple of years, at least for like 4 weeks out of the year. And I think it's a good move, but it's gonna take some getting used to on my part.
Get ready to learn layers, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I echo that, and my best is also very similar. I'm looking at my phone. It's currently 14 degrees here in Cincinnati. I know that the first couple matches I'll still be cold, but it's just that it's the hope. It's the hope on the horizon.
Yeah.
That warmer days are ahead, that soccer's ahead, that good times are ahead. It's that first kind of, when you're watching like the bowl games in December and they play that Masters ad for the first time and you're like, oh man, spring's like almost here. It's almost April. Even though it's December 20th. It's almost April.
It is the Masters ads just remind me that no other sporting event insists upon itself more than the Masters.
As it should. My worst, Lucas Engel was a guy I really liked. We'll talk about the fact that he did not get brought back. And the thing I had this inkling fear was going to happen did happen. He's staying in the league. He didn't go back to Middlesbrough. He's here. He's in the league. And I hate the fact that a guy that I liked so much last year, I'm now going to have to root against because he's out in Salt Lake. He's going to be on another MLS team. And it's the feelings are awkward. So I'm bummed out about that. That is my best. What do we have from the audience? What do we have from the peanut gallery here? Brian Biedenbach. Best, new assistant coach focused on offense. Worst, not as many fun conversations about 1-goal wins. Yeah, you're right. We hopefully will not have to have those as much this season. Jeff Tebbets from Jersey Swap also chiming in best. The offseason was at a minimum. It felt like the team wanted to deal Orishano, and it did that with very little turbulence. Worst, Miami doing so much during the offseason that it feels illegal. And I can't fight that. I tried to when I was setting up the show tonight, I tried to thin out the Miami talk as much as possible. Yeah. Jeff just baited me into now talking about it. So this is on him. He's wearing this one. There is a lot of news that happened around the league. Miami is many of them. And yeah, the rich get richer and the poor get plastic drapes. That's what's happening here in MLS. And it is what it is. I mean, I don't know. You either join them or you just sit there and grovel and lose.
I think with Miami, and there are some things like you have to like compartmentalize how mad you're going to get at them. I think like there are certain things that there is completely out of everybody else's control. I mean, I used to live out in Salt Lake, and every year the Utah Jazz would lose a free agent because people didn't want to live in Salt Lake City. And so like, sure, they've got the advantage of being in Miami. That's where all the rich European soccer players and South American soccer players go on vacation. Sure, they have the advantage of having Messi, and people are willing to take like a pay cut to go there, which odd that the union is okay with that. But, anyway,
When the
So,
players
like,
come, they're not
those
part of
things.
the union, Jason, until they
Yeah, that
join,
too.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But, like, those things, like, oh, whatever, I can, like, let it go a little bit. But I
Mhm.
think for me, the thing that, like, irks me the most about Miami is, like, this isn't a Beckham situation where everybody got to take advantage of this new rule. Like,
Sure.
when Sun Hyun-min came into LAFC, you didn't start seeing, like, a whole flood of other people. He came in, massive superstar. He came in within the DP rule. Miami has a DP, as much as I like let Messi being in the league, but that DP is also getting, like, extra money from Apple and extra money
Right.
from Adidas that is not available to everybody else. And LA Galaxy had to, like, get rid of everybody. We couldn't hold on to Brenner, but they're able to do all this. That's the kind of stuff that's the kind of stuff that irks me, because it's not like a rule that is available to everybody else. Take it
The
if you want to.
the only pushback I'll give you, Jason, on the Adidas and Apple TV thing, the owners voted for that. It
True.
wasn't like the league said you can have it. All the other owners said, "Yeah, give it to them
100%.
because we want them in the league." Now,
Single
I
entity.
personally am sick. Yeah, I'm sick of Miami getting pushed down our throats by the league and Apple every chance they get. But Armin Kafai does a Substack, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but he did an article about how Miami made this all work. And I mean, look, you got a guy like Dane St. Clair who took less money to go to Miami than stay with Minnesota United, right? I mean, that's not on Miami. That's Dane St. Clair made a lifestyle choice and a playing choice. I mean, as much as I hate that he left Minnesota United, that's some players, like you said, Jason, are going to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, you look at a lot of the South American players that they brought in on loan that are
yeah.
coming in. They're not just coming in because they want to hang out in MLS for a season.
Or like
Coming because
that guy
playing
that
with
we
Messi
right.
is a life-changing moment for them, right? That's something that they dream of as a kid, right?
And didn't they just get the forward that both Portland and us triggered his release and he wanted to come and then he changed his mind at the last minute? Miami just got him and they triggered the same release clause. So that's not on Miami. The guy decided he wanted to play there before he said to Portland and us, nope, no thank you, not coming. So
yeah, it was a talking point last season. It was a talking point the season before, and it'll be a talking point this season, even more so because they will spend the whole season as reigning champions.
Yeah.
And so not only is it they have been able to do this, it's now they've been able to do this and it worked. Yeah. It actually worked because they're champions. The guys are going to Florida. They've just touched down tonight. We'll hit the offseason moves here in a second. But there's no need to fly to Florida to get warm. Just reach out to our friends at Apollo Home this winter. And always, anytime you need to have anything done, electrical, plumbing, they're there for you. Give them a call, send them a text, or schedule online at apollohome.com. Off-season moves were plentiful for FC Cincinnati. I'm just going to run out the outbound names. These are guys that either left because they were not renewed right there at the end of the season or have since moved on, and then we can kind of hash them out. Orishano, Lucas Engel, Bariel officially off the books. He's gone. Brad Smith, Yuya Kubo, not playing right now, just doing dog content on Instagram. He is not here. Kai Kamara, looking for club number 22 to play for. Alec Can, retired. He's done. He didn't go to another team. He's just done playing. Brenner is back in Udinese playing? ? I don't know. I haven't looked.
I think isn't he going back to South America?
That I was thought like I saw
even better.
Brazil or something. Yeah, I think I saw something.
Bummer. We could have used him here. Yeah. And then obviously you guys mentioned at the top, the bigger one of the biggest ones is Dom Kinnear, leaving the coaching staff to at the moment nowhere. I think he's just hanging out. Let's kind of run those down. Obviously the big ones being, Orishano, someone who became such a big name for the club, a staple for the club. Jason, obviously, he was a guy that found himself a little homeless as far as a position last season.
Yeah.
It felt like writing on the wall, but kind of give your overall take on that. Lucas Marchano was such a great player for this club, and yet he kind of went out as an unneeded part there at the end.
Yeah, and it's a shame to see because, like you said, he came in. When he came in, we were all worried about who was going to step in for Barrial because Barrial made that exit, and he came in and he did his duty, and he wasn't, I don't think, as good defensively as Barrial was, but it looked to be another converted winger into a wingback success story. I'll never forget watching him hit that 70-ish yard strike. Was it against Philly? I think it was. He had like 2 of them a couple of years ago. I think it was Philly was the one that I was there for. But last year, something just didn't click. He was holding out for a new contract. He was injured. I think and we can talk a little bit about this, but I think with the exit of Lucho and with the addition of Evander, there should have been a style change that did not take place. And like you said, Luka just kind of seemed like the odd man out when all that happened. And, he's going to a really good Liga MX club. Hopefully he's successful. I wish him all the best.
Yeah.
And I think at least this doesn't seem to be like a bad exit. Everybody seemed to get what they wanted out of the situation. And I'll always remember him for the just the absolute crazy plays he made for FC Cincinnati.
Rupesh, the $1 million question, anytime a player of his stature leaves the club is, if we ever play his club again, do we boo him or do we cheer him?
I'm always on the cheer him for what they did for us.
Sure.
I don't care. I was one of those guys last year that didn't boo Lucho when he came back with Dallas. I just don't believe in booing the player. I wouldn't boo, oh God, his name just left me, Frankie. I wouldn't boo Frankie Amaya. He was a kid when he left. Other people ruined him. I don't care. It's
probably the only one in the stadium with that thought.
I know it's a business, and they make a business decision. And like Jason said, I think everybody got what they wanted out of this. FC Cincinnati got out of a contract paying a really high salary for a wing back or an outside back that just wasn't worth what we were paying him, unfortunately. And so I'm fine with him leaving. I don't think we can play him in CCC unless we meet him in the finals. They're on the other side of the bracket, if I remember right. So, because I know Jose was worried about that when he left. And I was like, him till the final, so I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, I won't boo him. So,
let's move over to Lucas Engel. Am I wrong here? I felt like he was a guy that brought so much. If anything, it's Cincinnati. We love hustle, right? I just felt like the guy played at a high level as far as intensity. I'm bummed that he left. I'm bummed that we obviously couldn't make it happen and keep him around. I mean, it's not like he was probably asking too much because he ends up in Salt Lake, who's not exactly handing out bags of money.
Yeah, I thought Lucas Engel he did his job well. Again, I think he was part of a system that didn't necessarily fit his style of play. He was specifically like a right back. He was not a wing back. And that became very obvious in that match against Miami. I can't tell you how many of those crosses just looked awful, but he was a very good player defensively. Jeremy, I don't know why you don't have to like him, because like Salt Lake plays in the Western Conference. So
yeah, it's just the yuckiness. Like
you
were supposed to go back to Europe, and then we just kind of root for you then, and then like, hey man, you go have your career, but now your career technically kind of affects us. So like, I don't know. I don't know how many
times. I don't know how often our paths are going to cross with the RSL. So it's not going to bother me any that much.
You got both him and Yedlin there. So it's a twofer.
Our starting outside backs are Salt Lakes this year. So
Brad Smith, I don't know if he was a guy that really found himself a whole lot of playing time, or a whole lot of a real spot here in Cincinnati. He seemed like he was kind of brought in as just depth and remained that. I don't know. Anyone else felt any different about Brad Smith's contribution that is no more?
Injuries. He was he was injured for so much of his time here that he didn't really, and even when he wasn't injured, what did he play, like maybe 10 minutes here or there? It wasn't like he was a major contributor. And this is me knocking, for lack of a better term, an ex-Liverpool player, which I am not likely to do, but he just didn't perform here. And I think injuries had a big part to do with that.
I do think, though, with the exit of Brad Smith, it brings up an important point that I don't think we have any more bald players on the squad. And
that's a problem.
Every soccer team needs at least one bald player. I think that's a requirement, honestly.
I feel like I personally have to picket the stadium. I feel like that's an attack on me and my people. Yuya Kubo, current dog content influencer, former FC Cincinnati player. It's interesting because he seems content today. He's like hanging out in Cincinnati. I know just from people that I know that like his kids are obviously enrolled in school here in Cincinnati, and his family's kind of pretty ingrained to just living the Cincinnati good life. So a guy who is gone but not physically gone. He's still here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think, I mean, let's face it, the cost of living here is pretty good, all things considered. Yeah. He's made a few $1 million. You put some of that away, you can live a pretty good life just hanging out in Cincinnati with that kind of money in the bank. I do hope he, like, as long as they're happy, good on him. But I was a little surprised that he didn't try to continue his playing career. Jeff Tebbets in the comments, Kubo and his dog will pull the sword to start the season.
That was literally my next thought, was like, if he's hanging around and not playing somewhere else, he's definitely pulling the sword this year, right?
What we need, though, a Kubo's dog and Pavel Buka's dog in content for FC
and
Cincinnati.
The ghost of Shotzi.
There's still Shotzi the elephant at the zoo.
Okay, that'll work.
So we've got a Shotzi that's still hanging out.
I think Kubo, hopefully, if he is done playing and he is content on hanging around, that he does make himself a little bit available to the club as far as just a guy that is beloved by the fan base. I adore the guy. He was our best player on some of our really bad teams, and he was a Swiss Army knife on some of our teams that needed that guy in that moment. Mm-hmm. And I'm always going to be a fan of his. I hope he gets to hang around here a little bit and soak up the love that this city has for him and this fan base.
Yeah, exactly.
A guy who did less so, Kai Kamara, former Columbus Crew legend and penalty taker, Kai Kamara. I just feel bad that the guy never finally put a goal in. Like, that's kind of it's almost like he has unfinished business. Like he's almost required to come back on like a veteran minimum deal to just try to fulfill that. Like, you got to score a goal, at least one goal for us.
I think part of it was, obviously we struggled offensively, but we only had 2 penalty kicks all year, if I remember the stats correctly.
Sure.
So there was never even an opportunity for him to do that. But
to get in a fight with whoever wanted to take it, and then he gets transferred moments later out to another club.
Isn't that what happened at Columbus?
That's exactly what happened in Columbus.
Yeah.
Him and Higuain fought over who was taking penalties. It was actually a season where they were a very good squad. And next thing you know, Kai Kamara no longer on the team. So that's how his tenure ended there. Yeah. His tenure here ends with him doing a whole lot of not much. But it was cool to have him. I mean, it is like having like a MLS folk hero on your team for a while. I mean, the guy's been everywhere. He's been in the league for forever. He's in the top 10 or so in goals scored in MLS. I mean, he's being around for two.
I think he's number 2. I think he's behind Wando, and that's it, I think.
Wow. Okay.
I think, remember a few years ago when Will Ferrell did spring training and played for
Sure.
like nearly every Major League Baseball team?
Yeah.
They should do that with Kai Kamara for all the teams he's not played for in the spring training. Just let him run out and get every MLS team under his belt because he's played for like at least half of them at this point.
I'm old enough to remember when Ocho Cinco hung out at Sporting KC's preseason and played with them. Also with Kai Kamara on that team at that time. Alec Kahn, the starting goalkeeper for FC Cincinnati that was immediately Wally pipped, lost his job from injury. We never looked back. It's kind of the career that never was here in Cincinnati for Alec Kahn, who was coming here from Atlanta in a situation where he was finally going to be the guy. And the first chance that he has to step away for injury, he's never the guy again.
Yeah, and the thing with him was, he got injured. Roman took the job, and then he just kept getting injured. I think hip injuries. Last year, he came back hoping to have one more run at it, and finally just was like, I'm never going to be back again to the point where I was, and that's why I retired. Because I, for a while, thought, why don't they let him, trade him and let him get a starting job somewhere else? But I think he just physically, injuries just took their toll, and that was that. So unfortunate because, it's like you said, he got Wally pipped. It was just unfortunate for Alec that what happened.
Brenner, I was so infatuated with the fact that he actually came back.
Yeah.
We talk so much about we get these stars and they want to come play for us. This is the guy that has said yes to us twice now. And I think for me, that says something big about Brenner and his relationship with this club, and that he came back this wiser, mature, better player, better teammate. It sucks that it didn't last that long. I mean, what do we get? Like 7-8 matches total with the guy? Mm-hmm. It was the reunion that was cut super short by obviously a poor playoff run. I still think he's going to go down as one of those guys that's going to always mean a lot to this club.
Yeah, absolutely. He was on that squad that got us to the Supporter Shield, even though he left midway through the season. He was part of that club that got us our first playoff appearance and playoff win. And to me, that season was one of the most fun seasons, in a lot of ways, even more fun than the past couple of seasons that we've had where we're like good and competing for a Supporter Shield. That 2022 year with him and Vasquez and Lucho was some of the most fun I've ever had watching soccer. And it's a real shame that we couldn't figure out a way to maybe do a longer term loan with like promise of a designated player at the end of the tunnel or Max Tam or something like that, because he saved our season. I don't think we get past Columbus. That goes without saying. We don't get past Columbus without Brenner being out there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Brenner's fate was sealed when the club announced that Miles was getting a DP contract.
Yep.
I remember when that happened, I was just like, okay, one of the three, Kevin Evander or Brenner, one of them is not going to be with the club because they're all designated player level players. And I mean, Brenner not just came back, but he came back on such a cut rate deal to play with FC Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people don't realize how much he gave up to come back here to play. So, I mean, I appreciate that he came back. It's unfortunate they couldn't work it out. And, I don't know that that's necessarily on Brenner. Maybe Udinese was like, hey, we don't want to put him on loan again. We want to sell him or, whatever. We don't know what the machinations of why he's not back, but I'm sad that he's not back.
Yeah.
So Brenner comes back in 2027. That's what I'm hearing. All right. Oh, the one last name, obviously we mentioned it, Dom Kinnear. Moving on, stepping back, whatever. He's not with the club anymore. Hasn't landed anywhere else. Maybe he's not going to land anywhere anytime soon. Maybe he's just trying to chill, go, watch his grandkids play soccer or something like that. Just kind of step back from the coaching world for a season. We mentioned it, like this is a guy that has all the experience in the world when it comes to MLS. He's reached the mountaintop. To have him right there next to Noonan for these the first several years of his first head coaching job, that's going to be something missed. It's also going to mean a different voice, and with that, possibly a different mentality going forward. Is the Dom Kinnear thing possibly the biggest off-season change?
Yeah, I think so. Other than Luka leaving, Dom is probably the biggest offseason change, because if I remember my FCC lore correctly, Brandon Vasquez credited Kinnear with a lot of his development. And I think, it's going to be interesting to see how, what's the guy's name? Utley.
Brett Utley.
Brett Utley, who's come in now. And they're looking for, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but they're looking for a free kick coach as well.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to see any sort of change in mentality, any sort of change in tactical scheming or anything like that? But yeah, I think to me, that was the biggest surprise going in the offseason.
And to be fair, Dom brings a lot of experience. He brought a lot of that sage wisdom, that steady hand. But you could say that the offensive ideas had really, really, really grown stale. And it was very glaring this past season.
There were no offensive thoughts, honestly. I mean, I think I was saying to you guys before the show started, Kevin Denke even said it in a preseason interview he just did this past week, that we didn't have, it wasn't, our goals weren't scored by an offensive system. It was individual brilliance. And that can only take you so far. I mean, eventually Evander and Kevin, or even Luke or Lucho back in the day, they're going to run out of steam at some point if you're just counting on them to just have individual moments of brilliance. So,
and not the first time that a Noonan side has been charged with just being about individual brilliance.
Right, for sure.
Interesting for it to finally come out of a player's mouth.
Right.
But not the first time that they've been accused of that.
And to be, and I probably misquoted Kevin a little bit. I don't think he was ripping coaches or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that, but
sure.
He just,
but it does echo
some
criticisms that have existed for quite some time.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure.
And Kevin even mentioned Rupesh. I think he did a interview even earlier, like right after the season ended, where he was talking about the XG of the team and how poor the XG was, and how like what he was expecting himself to have versus what the team was able to provide. And that he was still able to get 18 goals despite it. I honestly think I like hearing that from a player. I like hearing that from your star player. Like, how often do we hear, a star wide receiver in the NFL kind of say stuff like, hey, I'm not getting fed the ball enough, or, the routes aren't working for me. I frankly liked hearing that from our main striker.
Yeah, no, I think he definitely came into FC Cincinnati thinking that he was going to be, as you kind of put it, well fed by Evander and some of the pieces that he was working with there.
Well, remember when he got brought in, it was supposed to be Lucho, right? He got brought in right after.
Sure.
I mean, he was at the game when we lost the playoffs in 2024 to, I believe it was NYCFC, right?
Yeah.
He was there, and like they announced his signing not too long after that game, and that's when the whole Lucho drama broke out. So I think they originally brought him in thinking he was going to be with Lucho, because Evander didn't come in until right before the season started. So they didn't even get a chance to work an off season together. So, let's see how it looks.
All right, let's hit real quickly some of the big names coming in. Tom Barlow, MLS vet, brings some depth, brings some experience to the attack. Excited? Not excited? Where we at, boys?
I am whelmed.
Whelmed, yeah.
I'm whelmed.
It's a depth piece. It's a depth piece. That's what it is.
Someone had to play Sergio Santos's role.
Exactly.
I hope he can run fast for 10 minutes at the end of every match. Brian Ramirez is the big name. That's the one that had been rumored. That was the one that people were anticipating. It finally got announced. He is the new Stop me if you've heard this one before. Winger that will be converted into a wing back.
Yeah.
How are we feeling?
I think that's a pretty good move though, because he is looking at his, career. He does play a lot of left back and left wing as well. He's more comfortable on the right, but at least he does have experience playing left wing back and left back. Whereas Barrial and Orishano were both asked to learn on the fly. So at least we're getting a guy in who has been doing this for a few years now and only 25 years old, which is also
and if I remember correctly, he in the Copa
Libertadores.
Yes, thank you. I can't ever say that word. He was the top assister in that competition last year. So he's used to playing on a wing and assisting people. So, with having Kevin in the middle, that could be a good combination. So
yeah, find that forehead.
4 assists in the Copa Libertadores last year.
Yep.
The next person I got to mention, and it's kind of good that the Weigels are not on this pod much anymore, is the LaSalle Lancer. Kyle Smith is now amongst the FC Cincinnati, a guy who I'm fairly confident actually went to 2016 FC Cincinnati tryouts. I may be wrong on that, but I feel like I remember that being a thing. Because I remember knowing some of the local talent that did go to that.
He said he did.
He finds himself finally with FC Cincinnati. He at the time ended up going over to Louisville. Louisville obviously had their pipeline to Orlando, where he found himself, and then now he is back home in Cincinnati. Another local. Hopefully that doesn't mean that they now can phase out Haglund, because they always have to have the one local. You always got to have one. Can you have two is now the question.
I don't know. At least he'll get the hometown pop when they announce him.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
The first time.
Weigels will be there shirtless.
Oh, dear God, no.
Oh, yeah.
Getting a sunburn
your eyes,
at night,
children. Christian Fletcher is one of the other young pieces being brought in. He's came up through DC United. He now looks to find himself a new chapter and a new start in FC Cincinnati.
And
looks to mainly be a depth piece, obviously.
Yeah, depth piece. Low risk, high reward if he hits. Unfortunately, right now he's recovering from an ACL injury, so it's going to be a little while till we see him. He did go over to England and play in a couple of teams there in their U21 teams. So he's had experience overseas too. And I believe he was a pretty big piece of a couple of the U.S. youth national teams.
Yeah.
So it'll be exciting to see what he can do once he recovers from that ACL injury.
Adamar Chavez and Felix Sampson also being brought in. I'm guessing they're going to be more FC Cincinnati 2 pieces for the most part, probably, playing on getting some minutes with the senior club as well. That's the roster. They are in Florida. Preseason is beginning. How do we feel about that roster? Is it complete? Are we underwhelmed? Are we needing more? Jason, start us off. Where do we feel this roster sits?
I kind of want to echo what Mark Godsey said in the chat, that we need a second striker. We need some depth on the wing backs. And I don't think we are through making moves, but there's not a lot of money to play with, not a lot of roster space to play with.
Right.
So I feel like there is a U22 move, or maybe a loan move, because the past few years, Chris Albright's pulled out a random loan from England the past couple of years with Mascara and then Lucas Engels. So there might be one of those in our future, but I think the roster is probably 85% set in stone at this point.
Yeah, I agree with Jason. We need depth. I would agree at the forward position. I think left back, whatever. We need another one there, because right now we only have one. You have at least Alvis backing up on the right-hand side. So we need those. I would like to see a little bit more midfield depth, but we got 4 solid guys there now. And there's, I think they still have to fill 2 senior roster spots. I think there's only 16 on the senior roster right now. And there's probably 1 spot on the supplemental because Paul Walters has been loaned out to a team, I believe in Scotland for the season. So there's like 3 spots for sure. I think FCC could put up to 4 people on the senior roster still. And I think they have like $3 million to get that done on the senior roster. So, and they can't bring in another U22. They have 3 DPs and 3 U22s already. So they can't trigger that U22 mechanism to bring another person, but we'll see what they do. Chris Albright, like Jason said, he always has a trick up his sleeve right at the end. So
let's hope so. It sounds like he's painted himself into a bit of a corner, but
yeah,
we shall see what they end up doing. Beyond Exercise. Beyond Exercise is a local physical therapy and fitness business that helps people stay active and injury-free. In fact, they even help some of our local MLS Next Pro, and FC Cincinnati Academy players with their health and performance needs. Check out their suite of services at GoBeyondExercise.com. Preseason begins. First week of training is here. The big thing I want to hit is Albright comments to the media this past week where he talked about this being a reset. We just kind of went through this huge roster change. We've just mentioned the fact that they don't really have a whole lot of wiggle room. What did he mean by that?
Do they have somebody to come in and tell people that you can play through the middle and that you can shoot with inside the 18-yard box? I mean, that's what I wonder. Like, when I was seeing those comments from him, I was thinking, like, is there a change in attitude? Is there a change in how they're going to approach the game? Because the roster tells me no, but maybe it's cope on my part. Maybe the attitude is going to be a little different going in, because I don't know how anybody could watch what we watched last year and think, wow, this is going to be great next year, considering a lot of teams got better in the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Eastern Conference loaded up this year. And also, at some point, I don't know who asked him if there was going to be formation changes, things like that. And he said they were open to it. Seeing how the roster is right now, I don't see how we change the formation. And like Jason said, maybe Coach Utley has ideas offensively that'll help out. I'm just not really sure how we do it. But hope springs eternal. So let's see what happens.
I mean, it almost feels like they're of two minds, right? Like, we want to make some changes, but we have no flexibility from a roster standpoint to make any changes. Really, we have to make changes within what we currently have.
Well, and we had so much already tied up in the team, right? Like both of you are saying, we're kind of a little handcuffed in what we could do. They have a core. They have to build around the outside of the core. Now let's see how Ramirez replacing Orishano goes, because Orishano, I think almost every fan in the FC Cincinnati land will admit, was really poor last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where I think Brian Ramirez is someone to watch. Let's see how he copes with being here. He's not even here yet. I think he's still waiting for his visa. So I'm not sure. He may be a trialist down in Florida, but I know FC Cincinnati, when they released the preseason roster, said he's still waiting for his visa. So let's see what happens.
I shouldn't have any problem with immigration paperwork these days.
Yeah.
Right. Let's ask the big question. What are we looking for this preseason? Now, we don't know. I would assume, like always, we're going to get 0 broadcasts for games. We'll get scant information and details of what actually happened. But based off of just that, though, is there something where I mean, we kind of talked about how there's a lot of questions lingering as far as what this club wants to be this year. Do we actually expect to learn any of that?
I don't think we're going to learn much. I do like that everybody's back. There's no holdouts this year.
That's good.
There's not any drama really leading into the year. I just want to know that everybody gets through preseason healthy. I want them to beat Detroit City. That's the only preseason game I actually care about. And if they can figure out how to get Evander and Denke and I don't know Buka, the three of them to link up, then I think that would be a good preseason.
Yeah, I think getting through it healthy is the main thing, right?
Yeah.
We're not gonna learn anything. First of all, we're not gonna see anything, like you said, Jeremy.
Right.
So go through healthy. I'd like to see the young guys get chances, see the young guys play a little bit, because the U22s, I'm all excited for all three of them. But it's like Sharilla, Dado, Adamar Chavez, if he gets a chance, just see, and Andres Trilla, the little brother at center back. Let's see what these guys can do. This is a perfect time to use them. Let's see what they can do out there. And maybe we find somebody who's ready to step up, because one thing this club really hasn't done is use domestic younger players. We've done pretty good with the foreign ones, but let's get the domestic ones humming along. That'd be nice to see.
We had one that was our third leading scorer last year who couldn't see the field for some odd reason.
Right, exactly. Yep.
And you mentioned Dado. I know his name has been floated around a bit as somebody that may attract some interest from some other clubs just within the league. Especially, he's kind of coming to that point where he's probably himself looking for a lot more minutes going into the season. And obviously, when you kind of have your big pieces like Evander and Denke up top there, it makes that a little bit harder. We talked about their lack of flexibility bringing people in. There still could be some outbound moves, potentially. And I think that's one of those names that were thrown out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Dado gets traded. I think a dark horse for a trade is Matt Miazga too. I could see them trying to, I don't want to say cut bait, but maybe see if there is options out there, because they do have a little bit of depth, and they did okay without him for a good chunk of the season.
And you're talking about an aging defender on good wages who's breaking down and keep getting hurt. And there was also some rumors about his just general discontent with his lot in life and his spot with FC Cincinnati. So I think that's ones we also have to look forward. Let's move broadly. MLS off-season news. I will rattle off some talking points. You tell me if any of these stories actually piqued your interest at all. Walker Zimmerman to Toronto, Dane St. Clair to Miami. We kind of already talked about that. The Crew have a new manager. They didn't wait an extra 5 days to just bring their old one back. They instead bring in Henrik Reinstrom. I probably screwed that up already. Josh Sargent rumored to also be heading to MLS, a guy who was once rumored to possibly be heading to Cincinnati. Looks like he's going to be heading to Toronto, if anywhere. Timo Werner is possibly going to San Jose, of all places. That's an interesting one. Chucky Lozano not in the plans for 2026 for San Diego. Ricky Puig is out for the season already, which that's just a bummer. And our old friend Johan de May is now a head coach once again, as he is the man in charge in St. Louis. Which one of those has your nipples tingling on that one? Which one are we going
for? I would say, and didn't Espinoza go to Nashville?
Hey, how about that?
Yeah.
I would say Toronto is making some moves, and the Josh Sargent move, if Norwich gets over themselves and lets him go, I think that's a good move. I think they're going to be vastly improved this year. It's hard not to be vastly improved. There
was only one direction to go at that point, right?
And I think, honestly, Nashville, we didn't really mention them, but they've made some moves in the offseason to get better.
Yes.
So, I have them in my preseason, just in my brain, as number 2 behind Miami in the Eastern Conference.
Wow.
This year. I do think it is interesting that I wish Johan de May well. I think that move is a little interesting for St. Louis. They kind of seem to be an expansion team that doesn't have as much ambition as maybe some of the other ones do, and that's kind of disappointing.
Out of the gate just hot as a pistol, and now it's like,
yeah,
JK, let's just let's just be a club in MLS. Let's
No, the one from this list that you have, Jeremy, that
okay.
when they announced that Ricky Puig was injured, I was just heartbroken because he's a fun player to watch. Now, to be fair to the Galaxy, they started looking good at the end of last year without him. So I think they might be able to recover this year. And the smart thing they did this year, which I don't know why they didn't do it last year, is already put him on the season-ending injury list. So they have an open DP spot because of that. If they can get somebody to come in for 1 year, they can fix the situation. And like I said, towards the end of last year, they started looking pretty decent.
Yeah, they did,
even without Ricky. But that one hurts, and I think that one, a lot of people around MLS are feeling that one because he was an exciting young star that we had.
He's a fun guy to watch.
Yeah, he was fun to watch. Chucky Lozano being out of San Diego is not surprising. It sounds like there was attitude problems. Plus, San Diego's part of that Dream Academy system or whatever.
Sure.
And they want to play younger kids. So I'm not surprised Chucky's out. But those two were the two stories that I think interested me, were Chucky being out and Ricky being out. Just the Ricky one's just heartbreaking, though.
Yeah.
But I mentioned the Crew getting a new manager. I believe it's 7 or 8 clubs will enter 2026 with a new manager. Michael Bradley getting following his father's footsteps, getting a managerial job. He takes over the Red Bulls. That's a club that I still don't know which direction they're going. A lot
direction they're going
to be determined there. And I mentioned Johan DeMay. Is he a boo or a cheer? We got to make the call now. Is he a boo or a cheer?
He's a cheer.
Cheer.
He is a polite clap.
So, but like the seasons after season of him, thrusting his hips and gyrating with the Crew coaching staff after they score goals against us, that doesn't diminish anything.
That
I didn't notice that.
Maybe I never noticed that.
Oh, it had to happen.
If they do the divisions that we've been kind of told about, then we'll see more of him, and then it might be a boo.
Yeah. If he's around in 2027, we might be seeing on the regular.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, Johan, I think everybody would agree, was put in a no-win situation here both times that he was named the interim manager. You can't hold anything about that record against him. That was just a cruddy team built by individuals who didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that. So
which is why those individuals aren't in charge of doing that part of the
exactly
of the sausage making anymore. Anything else from this? I feel like it was a shorter off season, which is good because our next off season actually quite lengthy. I don't know if you guys have looked at the calendar, but with the changeover, we're gonna finish the season in like December with the MLS Cup, and then we're not hitting the pitch again till like
April.
Yeah. No, it's still February.
No, it's February. Yeah.
It's the sprint season. It's going to be a half season.
Wait, no, I thought they were going to wait all the way to the start of.
No, they're going to do a sprint. They're going to do for the first half of 2027. They're going to do a mini season basically. So the 2027 season is going to be like 14 games. They're going to do everything between February and May maybe.
Yeah.
Now here's my idea.
Season in late July, early August.
It is me just brainstorming here. Here's my idea. What if we call that mini season MLS is back?
MLS is back to
maybe?
Electric Boogaloo. Yeah.
They're missing out on just free money right there by not.
Guys, they still have to get the CBA done to even approve all this stuff.
That's true.
You see these deals are starting to make it's a little confusing on if it's been approved, because some of the deals FC Cincinnati made are through like July or December of 2027, when that's a season supposed to go till May of 2028. So it's like, I don't think anybody knows for sure what's going on.
Yeah.
So
it is going to be interesting to see, because I think we know that the CBA needs to get done. I think it will. I'm sure the players kind of think there's going to be more money in it for them. We've heard that like some roster changes are coming down the pipe. So I don't know. This year kind of feels it's important, but it kind of feels like a wash to me. Not that I don't want us to
Interesting.
do
Okay.
well, but like we've
It's a
got
great tone to set here on
well,
episode 1 of the new season.
it's got a weird
Hey,
vibe.
folks, it's a wash.
Well, not that I don't think it's important, but it's like I feel like the league is seeing 2027 as kind of like a MLS 5.0 or whatever they're in now.
Oh, no, 100%.
And we're just kind of riding this out. We're going to have a huge break for the World Cup. It's going to be an odd year all around.
Everybody better get ready for Saturday, Wednesday, because it's going to be the whole season between, CCC and Leagues Cup and MLS. There's just, with that 2-month break in the middle, like Jason said, for the World Cup, when these games come, they're going to come fast. It's not so the teams better, your depth better be good, because this is going to be a condensed season for sure.
Yeah.
A weird season indeed. If you would like to support Cincinnati Soccer Talk during this weird season in making this content, head over to cincinnati.soccer.com/support. From there, you are able to sign up to our Patreon page or make a one-time donation. A paid Patreon subscription enters you into our Growler Cup competition, as well as other great bonus content from CST. What will that bonus content be? I don't know. Like a shirtless pod that's just only for Patreons. It's going to be me. Rupesh is in. You're in for that. Yeah.
Hey, I saw that. Fiance has to say I'm allowed in. I don't know that I can promise that. Come on. Don't get me in trouble, Jeremy.
That's fine. She can sign off on it. And she can sit in the cuck chair on the side there and watch you do it the whole time. All right. On that note, final thoughts. Rupesh, hit us with your final thoughts.
Hey, like we've been saying, it's just exciting, ready for the new season to come. Let's see if we get some young guys that break out this year, and if Goss theorem comes true and Kevin Denke just goes crazy this year. That's my final thoughts. I'm just excited for the new year.
Jason.
Yep. Same. Excited for the new year. I've been this has nothing to do with FC Cincinnati, but as you all know, a lot of you all know, as a side hustle, I do stats for local colleges for college basketball and hockey and stuff. I had the great fortune of watching a lot of Miami University men's basketball. They are 19-0 and have been ranked in the top 25 for the first time since 1999, when I think Wally Zerbiak played.
Wally's world, baby.
Yeah. So congrats to the Red Hawks. If you like college basketball where they just shoot a lot of 3-pointers, make sure you get on ESPN online or whatever and watch the Red Hawks, because it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that end against Buffalo over the weekend was absolutely crazy. What a wild finish.
I was working that game. It was a wild finish.
I echo your guys' sentiment. I also just need warm weather and the sun to not go down at 5:30. I need that just mentally. I need spring. And when we're talking soccer, I feel like we're getting closer. So I'm just so happy to be back on the air with you guys. You can get in touch. You can tweet at us, Cincy Soccer Talk, or email us at feedback@CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com. He is Rupesh. He is Jason. I am Jeremy. Good night, folks.
Bye.
Bye.